From the Fox 26 studios, this is Houston's Morning Show.
Well, we are 2 weeks away from the Iowa caucuses, the first vote in the 2020 presidential race, and two Democrats are picking up a key endorsement. Let's talk Monday morning politics with Republican strategist Jacquie Baly and Democratic strategist Dallas Jones. Good morning to you both, and thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Okay, the New York Times endorsing Senators Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren. This is kind of a break from tradition, naming two candidates ahead of time. But what does this say, Dallas?
Well, I think it speaks to the reality that we as Democrats are facing right now, which are two different ones. One that goes a little bit further to the left, where you have Elizabeth Warren, who has been able to, what the Times described as being a great storyteller for Americans, while at the same time has really presented herself as probably the best person in this race that has really crafted policies that appear to really help to solve some of the big issues the country is currently facing. While Amy Klobuchar has shown throughout her career and certainly throughout this debate that she is much more of a moderate. She is someone from a policy perspective that perhaps maybe even Republicans that are disenchanted with the current state of the Republican Party may actually want to acquiesce around. Well, so that what the Times has done for the first time ever is it's really spoken to what many of us as Democrats are still rumbling with.
Well, a lot of people don't look at the Times to figure out who the next president is going to be, because it's been a long time since they've been since they've been successful in picking someone. They had Cory Booker on their short list until he dropped out of the race, so that should tell you all you need to know about the Times and their endorsement list. But the fact that they did pick two women is very telling, especially after the discussion that Biden and Warren had about a woman being successful. But it's also telling that they did not select Biden as the person who would be in the running. They said that his time has passed, and they said that the same thing about Sanders. Even though Warren is not that much younger than those two, but they feel that she has a story, because they call her the storyteller, that the rest of the world wants to hear. I do think that it would be interesting to see Warren and President Trump sparring. I think a lot of us who are politicos would like to see that, but the Times have not been successful in choosing someone in quite some time, so none of us are holding our breath thinking that this is going to be our next president.
Well, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders got into a little spat following the last debate, but it was all caught on camera and on microphone. What does this do to the Democratic Party? I mean, this is like infighting to a certain extent.
Well, I mean, they've been infighting in a nice way. As it narrows down, it's going to get a little bit nastier, and we expect that. This is American politics, regardless of whether you like a donkey or an elephant. It is still American politics, and these folks are fighting to become the next president of the United States. At the end of the day, I think what this conversation does, along with the New York Times editorial, I think it's going to probably wake up the soul of some of the women within the Democratic Party that may not have seriously been looking at Senators Klobuchar or Warren and challenge the thought in this time that yes, we too can be president, and we're not going to give up doing that. I think that's a strong possibility, and I think we'll see how it plays out.
She's already moved on from that fight, and now she and Biden are fighting over his past votes on Social Security, and she's had Sanders team up with her. So Elizabeth Warren, she has been fighting and clawing her way, and pun intended, her way to the top, and she's been sparring with the top men. One time it is with Sanders, now it's with Biden, and none of us are surprised by that because it's a very tight race. It's a nail-biter, actually, for the Democrat primary to see them, and each different state has another person at the top of the list. So I don't think it's surprising that this is going on, and I think you'll see more of her and Sanders teaming up together against Biden, because at the end of the day, Biden is telling everybody, I'm the only one that can actually beat Donald Trump. Thank goodness primary voters aren't believing that.
Well, it is something that's going to be in discussion for a very long time. Thank you both for joining us here on this Monday, and I know we will see you again very shortly.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks
Good
a lot.
times.